Welcome to Fostering Blooms, the podcast where we dig deep into gardening and all the ways it can enrich your home and life.
Together, we'll explore every aspect of gardening the organic way, keeping it simple, accessible, and fun.
Whether you're a seasoned gardener or just getting your hands in the dirt, we're here to share the tips and insights you need to grow something truly special. I'm Shannon Foster-Boleen.
And I'm Caitlyn Blum, and we're two friends on a mission to cultivate beauty, creativity, and connection through everything we grow.
This is Fostering Blooms.
We are here today, my friend, to talk about the most hated plants in the garden. And let's preface it with this too. These are plants that we have dug them out of our gardens. We don't feel like they have a space in our gardens, but you know what? They have a spot in someone's garden somewhere. So we don't want to offend anybody if you love this plant.
Sure.
So we'll start it off with that. So, Shannon, what is your number 5 most hated plant in the garden?
Okay, so this one is probably going to be a little controversial because this is a classic. And it's something that I planted when I was a brand new gardener. It blooms a lot and it takes up some space. And I thought, oh, this is going to be great. And it's 4 o'clocks. It's definitely an old school plant. They get pink blooms on them. But man, they just overtake everything. And
what else are they called? Are they morning glories too?
No. Morning glories I had on here. I had on my list morning glories or 4 o'clocks.
Okay.
And then I decided to go with 4 o'clock.
Okay, I almost put morning glory on my list.
Yeah.
I had a volunteer that I did not plant. It was a bird who pooped in the garden and planted one there, and it took over.
Yeah, I have one out on my back fence line, and I can't really get to the other side of it. It's my neighbor's property, and there's barbed wire and so forth, so it's hard to get to. I need to try to find a way to get it out because it's going to take over the fence line as well. By the way, we did not look at each other's list before this, so it's live, folks. This is live action hated plants stuff.
We did not, so if I might have included one that she loves. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, that would be good, though.
That would have been great.
When I think of the plants that I hate, and this isn't necessarily just a list of invasive plants, but these are the plants, like, think about it like a song. Like, you might really love, like, Wang Chung Tonight, but you wouldn't even know what that is because it's from the 80s. So if you are from the 80s, you know. Okay, so you may really love a song that most people think is awful. Or you might really think something's really awful and most people think it's awesome.
Yeah.
So this is just personal preference. But I do want to say why I don't like it. Yeah. So that it's kind of a heads up too. But also, a lot of these plants, I'm going to be honest, as her wife, Sierra says, do better. Like, you could do better.
Better.
So I'm going to give you some alternate suggestions. So, like, if you're thinking about morning glories, which they still sell the seeds everywhere, or 4 o'clocks, which you can still get the seeds everywhere, we are going to discourage you from considering that as an option.
And I think that's a reason we don't like them, because they're going to take over. And I have another one on my list that I used to love, and now I really hate it because it's really taken over. So, but we'll get there.
What is your number 4?
Number 4 is monkey grass. And I think in the 90s it was a really frequently used filler landscaping option. And it does fill in places, but it's just not in anymore. So let's just stop with the monkey grass. And if there is monkey grass somewhere, let's take it out.
Yeah.
I have a patch that I still need to take out. And it has its place, maybe like, under a tree.
There's no place. There's no place for it. Not under a tree.
Get out of here, monkey grass.
It's on my list, and it's higher up on my list when we moved in here. The whole area along the side of the house that is still monkey grass, and another area that's all monkey grass because they wanted to have a no-mow area, which I understand. But then there's another area that's all monkey grass, and it's spread into the lawn. It's so hard to get out. I hate to say this, like, even if you solarize it, you will still have to dig it out. Even in the potager expansion, I still have some coming through after digging it out and it being under plastic.
Oh my gosh.
And I will be honest, most of the time, a lot of people end up having to use chemicals to get rid of it because it's just so hard. I think monkey grass should be outlawed for everybody because it seems like a really super easy solution. But I mean, honest, there's other things that you could do if you want a low mower, no mow area. I mean, you could even do xeriscaping where you take a rock garden. There's other small perennial plants that can form like a little border area that you really only have to trim, like geraniums. We talked about hardy geraniums. You could do a little row of geraniums that'll be green most of the year, and you trim them once and you get beautiful flowers and it's not invasive. So yeah, monkey grass is definitely what I think it was my number 2 actually.
You're out.
Oh no, wait, I had it number 4. That's surprising because I'm going to tell you I feel like it should be higher on the list.
I think that's why it became so mainstream, because it is so hardy. It's so hard. It just stays and just keeps growing and growing.
Well, that's the consistent theme on all these plants is they're very hardy, too hardy.
They're too hardy that you have a hard time removing them.
And also, to me, I feel like it's like trying to hit the easy button, but it's really more problematic in the long run. And so it seems like it's easy, right? But it really isn't going to work for you. Anyways, my next one is going to be creeping juniper, which, you know, there's nothing wrong with juniper and there's nothing wrong with creeping juniper. But when I think of creeping juniper, I think of like medians in the interstate or like parking lots where they...
I hate median landscaping on the highway.
It always looks shrubby and scrubby, and people, I think, say, oh, well, I'm going to go ahead and put juniper on the slope because nothing else will grow on this hillside, which is absolutely not true. I just feel like, again, it's like, oh, I'll just buy some juniper. So I would encourage you to think about
outside the box and not purchase juniper.
Yeah,
I think it's cheaper. I mean, some of these are cheaper solutions, but in the long run, pay a little bit more for things that are going to last and that you like, instead of just filling it in with something that you're going to hate down the road.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a tough one for me. So anyways, okay, what you got?
All right, so the next one I have in here is Nandina, which...
I mean, please watch the video just so you can see my face.
So we both have Nandina on there. Again, we're really talking about 90s landscaping, like what was put in.
Still though, no, Nandina.
You're right. People
it's still
use it.
going.
Please stop with the Nandina.
I hate it so much.
So our house was built in 1996. So they had some big swaths of Nandina in there. And as my Christmas gift, Shannon had it dug out for me. These Nandina, they had to be pulled out with a Jeep. Y'all,
the root ball
was huge. I want to say it was like 120 pounds, 150 pounds.
Easily.
It bent the back of the Jeep.
Yeah.
Pulling it out of there.
Yeah.
So it's invasive and it has the red berries on there.
I'm sure some bird eats a berry, but you know what? Here's how I feel about that. First of all, there's so many other shrub options. And by the way, Nandina is also called heavenly bamboo. And it was my number 1 most hated plant. And I see it everywhere. And every time I go to a house and I see Nandina, I just want to rip it out. And it part of it for me, it's so boring and bland, and it is invasive, and it doesn't do anything. It doesn't trim up well. It doesn't really usually have outstanding colors. I just don't like it. It's like, ugh. It's not great. When you are landscaping, you have options, right? And if you want something just super simple, I mean, that's an evergreen shrub, you have other options that you can choose. One that I put on here is called Sweet Box or Sarcococa, and it's a winter bloom and it smells nice. It's like if a boxwood and a holly had a baby, and that's what their leaf looks like.
Oh.
I cut a piece and I've had it in water for 3 weeks and it's still green. It looks like I just cut it. Wow. And I use it as like an accent foliage. It's kind of one of those things where there are other shrub options. I mean, depending on what you want to accomplish. But yeah, no, Nandina.
Let's not.
Please stop.
Please stop with the Nandinas.
Please stop. Okay, well, my next one is going to be maybe a little controversial, but I'll explain it. Vinca. Vinca has a purple flower on it, and it is pretty, and it is a good ground cover, and it does stay green most of the year, right? So I planted Vinca as a new gardener. Again, back at the same, like literally one of the first plants I planted. It's very available. It's not expensive. And there's a big leaf variety and a small leaf variety. But the reason that I don't like it is because it really starts to sprawl. And it really just kind of looks like a little nest after a while. And other weeds are still going to grow up through it. So if you're going to get a ground cover, get more of a matted ground cover where it really suppresses the other things coming up.
And how does the Vinca grow? So it's not matte, because you're right. If you're going to cover the ground, let's cover it and not let any weeds grow up through it.
Kind of almost like an ivy would in terms of like
a vine.
It's like a vine.
And
almost.
It's got its feet that it puts into the ground.
I think that it does put some feet down, or it spreads from runners underneath. It's been a long time since I planted it, so I don't remember exactly.
I never planted it again, so I won't find out.
Again, you can do something a little more interesting. I put sweet rhododendron on here as a suggestion, and I have grown that before. It forms like a mat. It's got little tiny leaves, little white flowers. In really moist areas, it can spread pretty rapidly, and it could become a problem, but I can honestly tell you it's never become a problem for me. The only thing that'll grow up through it is those little wild spring onions.
Which I trim those, and I actually use them.
There you go.
I'm cooking.
Yeah, I've got a bunch out there right now. You could have some trim. They've been coming up through the snow.
Perfect.
Like for me, the sweet rhododendron is a little prettier, and it works also in shady areas, which is where a lot of times Vinca gets thrown in kind of tough to grow areas. You know, like I said, it probably shouldn't be number 2 on my list or whatever, because I don't hate it that much. Definitely monkey grass more than that. So it's probably number 5 technically.
We're gonna take our horis and we're gonna stab all of them.
I still have a couple Nandina left on this property, and the only reason I haven't taken them out is because I haven't gotten a plan for what I'm going to put back in right away. I would say to you, if you take out a hated plant, or any plant that you don't want, even if you don't hate it, if you take it out, make sure you have a plan to put something back in relatively quickly. Otherwise, you're just going to end up with a lot of weeds.
Yeah.
There's so many other tough, beautiful, wonderful plants that can do so much for you. So if you are considering any of these,
please don't
do it. Just don't do it. And
them.
now you know what not to send us. So I know you're probably considering sending us gifts at this point. I'm sure you're ready for some gifts to be sent. So please don't send us these. That's all I'm saying. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
I think is that it?
Okay. I have one more. Actually, I have 2 more. I have an honorable mention.
Okay.
But the one is, my number 1 hated plant is black-eyed Susan vines. When I first started the seed before, I thought they were really cool. They climb, they had the black-eyed Susan shape and color, but they're on a vine. And they trellis up and they take over. There's the word. They take over. I think monkey grass Nandinas are probably still like number 1, 2 hated for me. But this black-eyed Susan vine is really hated. But I still have a little bit of admiration in my voice for it, though, don't I? Because it's beautiful. It's a beautiful plant. But oh my God, why do I hate it? It spreads like an MFer. Talk about volunteers.
Yep.
Wherever she is, those seeds drop.
Yep.
She's going to continue to come up. I mean, we ripped out all the black-eyed Susan vines in October. Those puppies were sprouting into November, in December. I was weeding those out of the garden.
Yeah, and you will be in the spring probably, even though you've done all these other things.
For a long time, I'm going to be pulling those little seedlings out of the ground. I have one recommendation. I've given seeds to friends, but I've told them, listen, do not grow this in a place that's going to just take off. Do it in a container. Do it in a hanging pot, I think is really cool.
Oh, that'd be pretty.
And then they'll drape down, So I might do some hanging pots this year with them. I do like them, but God, they're very invasive, and they spread and spread and spread.
That's how I feel about ivy. I love English ivy and Boston ivy. Like, we were just in the Cotswolds, and there's Boston ivy over all the sides of the houses. And in the fall, it's gorgeous, and I want it so bad. I keep toying with it because it's really good for the birds, actually. It produces a nectar in the winter, but I know how much work it is. Like, every year I would have to be up there trimming it so it didn't get into the gutters, and it'll, latch onto the brick. And I'm just kind of like, vines, you got to be careful because some vines just are so much work, or they spread by seed. So yeah. And what was your other one? Real quick, your honorable mention.
This is not something you plant. This is actually a wild plant that I hate, and it's poison ivy.
Oh yeah.
I hate poison ivy so much.
Yeah.
This is something that We did not plant ourselves.
Thank God.
This is nature's offering. I mean, it's everywhere and you have to be careful. I get it every year. I get it multiple times a year. So I just hate it. I just wanted to say I hated it. I hate you, poison ivy.
I hate you. I know. The hard thing is that I know that there's a reason for poison ivy, right? Like there's a benefit to everything. I know there's some reason for it, just like there's some reason for stink bugs and Japanese beetles, but I still hate them. I just deal with it. But yeah, poison ivy really sucks. That's a good one. She snuck an honorable mention in there. I'm really proud of you for doing that. It's usually me. Well, I think that's it. I think now it's time to go get dirty.
Yeah, let's go grow, baby, but not these most hated plants.
Don't grow these. Grow something else.
Love what you hear? Follow along and leave us a review to keep us inspired. If you've enjoyed listening, you can also watch us on our YouTube channel at Fostering Blooms. Let's go grow, baby.